Hey everybody, thank you for downloading episode 108 of We Got This with Mark and Hal. This is the first of our 2 special Max Fun Drive episodes, and you're going to hear a couple times from us about what that means and how you can get involved. It's the best time of the year to become a Max Fun member, but for now, enjoy episode 108 of We Got This with Mark and Hal.
Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all,
Best Monty Python song.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcast should have a theme song. Podcast should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Oh, Hal, are you excited today?
I'm very excited, Mark.
We have quite the topic to discuss today.
Yes.
And we have quite the guest to discuss this topic with us. An expert in this particular field, I would say.
Yes. Now, when we did Best Novelty Song, we got our friend Jonathan Colton to help us out. So what we like to do is bring in subject matter experts. So if we're going to talk about comedy music, specifically Monty Python, perhaps the greatest sketch troupe ever to walk the earth, we need to bring in a heavy hitter to talk comedy music with us.
That's right. And there is no heavier hitter than our guest today. Have we built this up enough yet? We're really like, this is a really long drum roll. I feel like each of us is one of the timpani and we're just going boom, 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 boom.
Well, I have a marching band and the Vienna Boys Choir waiting outside, but I can cancel that if you want.
How very Monty Python of you.
Yes. Our guest, of course, is Weird Al Yankovic.
Hey, guys.
Thanks for joining us today, Al.
My
this is
pleasure.
very, very exciting.
Thanks for joining. You're in my house, so thanks for joining me.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Thanks for your hospitality. I am in New York.
But it feels like you're here.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
The Skype thing was very intimate.
I'm going right into your ears and nowhere else.
I like it.
Nothing will bring two people closer together
So
than
true.
being thousands of miles apart. But on the internet,
That's how my tours go. Like my family goes, why are you on tour? Like, I see you on Skype. What else do you want? Come on.
Yeah.
do you set
They
up?
see your face.
Do you set up a specific time when you Skype with your family when you're on tour?
Not specific, just whenever I, get off, done with the show and done with the meet and greets and stuff like that, I'm back on the bus, then we do the Skype thing.
You're just a sweaty heap.
Yep.
Have you ever tried the board games via Skype?
No, is that fun?
I have done it a couple of times. Some lend themselves better than others.
I like to do Yahtzee via Skype.
Skype, can I tell you, Skype Yahtzee is fantastic,
It's
and
the
I've
best.
played it on more than one occasion.
You can't see it, but I just got a full house. I'm just going to mark that down
yeah.
on my sheet.
No, it's video Skype.
Oh, I see. But you just do it right under the camera.
Right.
Oh, you can't see it, but I don't want to. I'm afraid I'd knock my computer over. But trust me.
Just trust me.
It was 5 6s.
Ridiculous.
So let's talk some Monty Python. This was suggested by Jim Corbett from our Facebook group. So thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Are you a big Monty Python fan, Al? When did you first encounter Monty Python? And
Absolutely. I don't name check Monty Python nearly enough because usually when people ask for my musical influences, I reel off my Mount Rushmore of comedy, which would be Stan Freberg, Spike Jonze, Alan Sherman, and Tom Lehrer.
Yeah, sure.
But
Wow.
but Monty Python is right there with him. I mean, I was obsessed with them all through my teenage years. I remember when they first came on TV in the States, which was on PBS.
Yeah.
And that was a big deal. I mean, this is the days obviously before VCRs and anything like that. So you had to be there when it aired, and it was like. Everybody in my high school, all the nerds at least, were glued to their TV sets during that half hour that Monty Python was on. And it became sort of, I don't know how much it is with nerds of the present era, but when I was a teenager, it was like, Monty Python lyrics and sketch lines. I mean, that was like a whole vocabulary. That was how we spoke to our friends.
I went through the same thing, and I'm sure you did too, Mark. It was probably when I was about 12.
Right.
And I started watching the films, and I'd seen it a little bit on PBS, but then MTV started running Monty Python.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And so you just started ingesting it really, really quickly because it was on every night, and it just became the people who knew who the Knights Who Say Neek were and the people who didn't.
Yeah.
It was very it still is sort of like if somebody's not a Monty Python person, you just go, oh, well, they probably haven't seen them yet.
Yeah,
and that's why.
I had all the albums. I remember when Holy Grail came out, it wasn't playing anywhere near our house, and when my mom and I went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo for my college interview, it was playing in the student union, and I begged my mom to let us stay over one more night just so I could watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It was kind of a
Was
big
that the
deal.
moment you decided that was the school you were going to attend?
Kind of like, okay, these guys are cool.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the classes really. Or the
They play good movies.
But they show. Listen, I like Yale just fine. You have really nice grounds.
Yeah.
What films?
But San Luis Obispo.
Yeah.
I feel like, where I grew up, you were divided into the kids who knew about Monty Python and the kids who knew everything about Tennessee Vols football. So I love this idea.
Football, what's that?
Yeah, it's turn on your TV on Sunday.
Okay.
There's a big game. Actually, there's a lot of really great commercials with game interruptions every few minutes.
Was that the Lady Gaga show?
Yeah. From
Okay.
the roof.
I'll check it out.
Her part was really short. They need to expand it. Dear networks, never write letters like this. I was very disappointed with the amount of Lady Gaga on her own show. How much are you paying her? Maybe you could cut a deal. Yours sincerely, a person who's probably in jail right now. So jumping in, we have a long list here. This is put together by our tireless researcher, Kate McManus.
Thank you, Kate.
We do, yes.
Yes,
Thank
Kate.
you, Kate. This is pretty exhaustive, I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, this is, by my count, every single song that has appeared in like an original piece that has appeared in a sketch or in a film or in their later albums, because that was really where they got into more original compositions. Like their certain hallmark, like their Mount Rushmore of songs are probably things people know either from the films or from the sketches, but they've done an entire album or two worth of songs outside of that.
Right.
Did you guys have that album, the Monty Python Sings, growing up?
Maybe not growing up. They came out in the 80s.
Yeah, I guess the one that came out in the 80s.
I was a full-grown adult when that came out. But
Al, aren't you always growing up? Don't we like to
true.
think that we're all spending until the day we die, we're growing up, Al?
But I had all the other Monty Python albums. I got them at a secondhand shop in Downey. And I remember the three-sided album. That was a big deal.
No.
The Matching Tie and Handkerchief.
Oh, yeah. I know the album, but I didn't realize. How did they do a three-sided album?
It was crazy. And I still have, I got rid of most of my vinyl, sadly. My wife said, you got the CDs, why do you need the vinyl?
Ooh,
but
ouch.
I kept the Monty Python album because I've never seen this done anywhere else. One side was regular, and the other side was a two-sided album, meaning depending on where you dropped the needle on the record, that's what groove it would play. It was two interlocking grooves.
Oh, wow.
And it's just randomly it would play either one version of that side of the record or the other, and you never knew.
I had heard about this.
crazy.
I didn't know that they'd actually succeeded in releasing it. I know at one point they were trying to the original idea was to do 4 sides on one side of an album.
Well, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Right. Look, this
That's
is
unnatural.
Come on.
That
Chapman
would
Cleese
opened a
et
gate
al.
to Hades itself.
Yes.
You can't have that. Not from our music. So I feel like I have an idea of how to attack this. Mark, I don't know what your thoughts are.
My original thought was go by property. You know what I mean? Start with Flying Circus, then move on to previous record, Holy Grail, contractual album. If you want to do it in little chunks like that.
Oh, geez.
But I'm up
So
for however you guys want to do it.
I mean, we could go in chronological. Which
And let me just preclude all this by saying that while I'm almost positive I've heard all these songs at one point in my life, I may not remember all of them because, I've lost a lot of brain cells over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
No, I hear you.
Look, if you just pulled Matching Tie and Handkerchief out, you know enough of them.
Okay, so the first song that I have on this list is the Lumberjack song.
The Lumberjack song. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
A song about proud transvestitism.
Yes.
There are several versions of the song, and it always segues from a different sketch, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, and they handed it off. It was originally Michael Palin in the original sketch where he was a barber. He was a really bloody barber.
Right.
Who wanted to be a lumberjack. But then Eric Idle took it over. He did it at Live at the Hollywood Bowl and a lot of the live albums. But then the concert for George Harrison, Michael Palin came out in a really flashy tuxedo and gave this speech, which wasn't going well. And then he stopped halfway through and tore off the tuxedo to reveal his plaid shirt and suspenders and performed once again, the original lumberjack performing the song.
It's always just a really jarring segue. I think the one that I remember the most was on one of the studio albums, I think, where and I don't remember who was doing it, but it was just a weather forecast. And all of a sudden, like, I never wanted to be a weatherman.
Yeah, it's always the most jarring segue, but also it works with anything.
Right. Which, I mean, that was the whole, Flying Circus thing was like, they always try to have links between all their sketches, so most of the links were just random, kind of non sequitur links, which worked perfectly.
Yeah, and they did it in the albums, too.
Yeah.
Like, they're put in their links, and they're really bizarre, but like every sketch group that's come after them that's tried to make those sort of connections, like Mr. Show's done, it always feels like that's the goal. And I feel like when they're interviewed and they say, well, we never really watched Monty Python, that they're lying.
Yes.
I fully accuse all of them. J'accuse, you are lying?
Yep.
How could you not know?
First of all, wear that badge proudly that you went home every afternoon and watched PBS.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a badge of honor to know these songs.
I used to listen to public radio when I got home in high school because I liked the jazz. It calmed me down. At that point, I was like, I'm 16. There's no way life will ever get more stressful than this. I just need to practice self-care.
Yeah. I had to make sure that my parents never saw Monty Python because sometimes on the TV show there'd be naked ladies.
This is true.
Yeah.
So if that had gotten out, I probably would have been barred from watching Monty Python.
I remember the sketch where Eric Idle is a couples therapist. And Michael Palin brings his wife, who I think was played by Carol Cleveland, in with him, and she's very attractive. And it becomes very clear as Michael Palin is talking about his problems that the two of them are flirting, and they go behind a screen and have sex while Michael Palin's like, you know what? I am going to be strong. I am going to stand up for myself. And meanwhile, he's being cheated on right in front of his face. So, beautiful thing.
Yes.
We love you, Monty Python.
So that makes us love the Lumberjack song.
Yeah. I mean, this is certainly a finalist. If we're going to talk about
absolutely
the best.
I knew this song before I knew who Monty Python was because my friend sang this. Just, like schoolyard singing. This was like our John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Right.
Was the Lumberjack song.
It's a good sing-along song. I mean, it's something that is easy to learn. It's got a good chorus to it. It's repetitive. So it's one of those kind of songs that gets stuck in your head and easy to sing in a schoolyard.
Yeah. What do you think, music, while I have you here, what do you think makes a great comedy song outside of it being really funny?
Well, I've got rules for what makes a good parody, which is a little bit different than just doing a comedy song. For parodies, my number one rule is it needs to be funny, even if you're not familiar with the original source material.
Right.
Because if it's all dependent on knowing what it's a parody of, then it's not, you're just doing reference comedy. You're not doing like real jokes. Monty Python's done a number of parodies. I'm sure they're on the list here.
Yes.
And I thought they were very funny, and several of them I had no idea they were parodies of something else.
Yeah. I was listening today to All Things Dull and Ugly off of their Contractual Obligation album, which is basically a children's choir singing what sounds like a church hymn. Talking about all the ugly and terrible things in the world and saying that they're there because of God. So what should be a praise to God actually sounds like this is your fault.
So what was the original? All Things Bright and Beautiful or something like that?
Maybe so. But
All Things Bright and Beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, that's an actual thing, which I would not have known being raised Jewish.
And I just glanced down at the list here, and I just learned something in the last half hour, Set on My Face was a parody apparently,
Yes.
which I had no idea about that.
Yes. That is the original song for that is... Oh, I have it here. Do I have it here?
Here it is, parody of
Sing As We
Go by
there.
Gracie Fields, which I'm not familiar with that song, but.
Me neither, but it sounds like one of those World War I sort of like.
Of the parodies for me, it was, the first time I ever heard, the Chopin piano piece without the lyrics, I thought it was an instrumental version of the song Oliver Cromwell by Monty Python. I didn't know that there was a version of it that didn't have those insane, very dense lyrics.
That is the thing about Monty Python though, is so many, these songs they bridge the gap for so many different styles of music. So there's folksy, there's one in particular, the Background to History, which is supposed to be a BBC special on, medieval
open field farming.
Yes, medieval open field farming. But each professor that speaks, it's just a song. So the first one is like a Bob Marley song. The second one is a Gary Glitter song. And the third one is like Beatles end of Hey Jude song that I guess Neil Innes helped write. But it's just like they've fit 3 different songs into one sketch and it makes sense. And if you listen to the lyrics, it's about medieval, open field farming.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not that familiar with British music hall, that whole genre, but it seems like they're kind of influenced by that a lot in their songwriting.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
They're all especially all of Eric Idle's tunes, because Eric Idle did a lot of the composing on these.
Right.
His tunes are so catchy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I should put in a little factoid here. Eric Idle works with John Dupre a lot. John Dupre has done a lot of Monty Python stuff. And John Dupre I got to work with. He actually did the score for my movie UHF. So I've got that connection.
Oh, very cool.
That's awesome. Did you, when he was brought on knowing like, oh, he's a Monty Python guy?
Well, yeah, with that, I was very excited about it at the time and still am.
That's awesome. Have you ever performed with any of the Pythons?
Good question. I don't think so. I've bumped into Eric a number of times. I was on the same show as him. We both did Penn and Teller's Sin City Spectacular. Nice. But I can't say that I've actually performed with a Python, which is a good bucket list thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. A little bit of trivia there.
Yeah.
This is our new podcast, Things Al Hasn't Done, where we give you the inside facts on Weird Al. So Mark.
Yeah.
You know what? Rather than going through this, I feel like this is going to come down to a few finalists. So I think we can talk about some honorable mentions and then sort of get into the meat of it.
Let's do that.
Good?
That sounds good.
Okay.
I think that sounds great.
I think this will be the.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. This is.
You guys, this sounds like it's Bigly. This is what we've just done.
Yeah. We're going to sit here for 30 minutes, talk about Here Comes Another One. No, there are a bunch. We'll do a roll call for the section that we'll call the aptly named Sir Not Appearing in This Film. I think Here Comes Another One and I Like Traffic Lights fall into that because it's just a repetitive.
I don't know if I Like Traffic Lights gets an honorable mention because it is, I Like Traffic Lights is designed to be unlistenable and it succeeds on all levels.
And is it just a UK thing? Do they actually say the light's turning amber? I don't know.
It is a cultural lesson.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know what a pram was until I heard Knights of the Round Table.
Yeah.
I still
but you do know that Knight does like to push it a lot.
I do.
Yeah. I actually thought that lyric was pram a lot. And then now I realize it's not. What is the pram? Please tell me.
Oh, a pram is a baby carriage. Are you learning something new today?
I really am.
Pushing a pram is pushing a baby carriage.
I know they call dustbins. That's what they call trash cans, and that's where it stops. The lift, the loo, and the dustbin.
There you
go. That's all I know.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a couple songs here that I think would not be finalists because they are offensive.
Never Be Rude to an Arab?
Never Be Rude to an Arab.
Comes to mind.
Yeah, that one kind of jumps out.
Sure.
I just listened to that recently and I was like, whoa! Okay.
I remember my memory of it was that at Hollywood Bowl, before he said the N-word, that they blew him up.
Oh, before.
But I guess he said it and they kept dragging him off stage. So he got the word out every time.
Wow.
Of course he did.
And it's one of those things where it's not.
And it's the hard R. It's not.
Oh no. I mean, his British accent is there, but he's not.
Yeah.
He's not trying to be like down with people.
Right.
He's just throwing it out there. It is like one of those things of trying to take the power out of a word.
Yeah.
That's filled with hate, but it's also hard when it's a white dude.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry. I'll take care of this, everybody else. Finally you have a voice and it's me, an Oxford educated white guy from Great Britain.
I would argue though about that, going back to the Lumberjack song with this song, Never Be Rude to an Arab, that is designed to deliberately be offensive.
Right.
Sure.
Looking at the Lumberjack song in 2017, it's sort of quaint in its mentality, what with, the way the world has moved in the last, 40 years since that song came out. Sure. So there's an argument for that song being, a little undeliberately unwoke. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Let's say it does.
Yeah, that it's like everybody's, all of the Mounties are disgusted by it, or confused at the very least.
The Mounties are not woke.
Yeah, they're
Right, exactly.
as an organization traditionally, the Mounties have not been woke. It's very new. So I think
the RCMP really needs to start going the way of the Boy Scouts.
yes, exactly. But another song I would put into that category is "I Like Chinese," which isn't terribly offensive.
Sure.
You know, my daughter, I have to teach my daughter about Monty Python. She hasn't seen the movies. She's not been exposed. So I played a little bit of Monty Python in the car just like yesterday. Yeah. And the first thing she heard was "I Like Chinese," and she said, "This is so racist." she couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe it. And then the next song was Eric the Half a Bee, and she was like, "I give up. I don't want to hear anymore."
Oh no!
I don't know. I'm like, whose daughter are you? What? I want a DNA test.
Exactly. This, what is it? 23andme.com.
Yeah.
Our new sponsor. Find out if that's your daughter.
This can't be right.
Yeah.
That's their new tagline. This can't be right.
That's the Maury Povich of the internet.
Oh, jeez. Let's talk about Eric the Half a Bee.
Okay, let's.
Because, Eric the Half a Bee it is to me such a sublime example of what those guys do so well, which is be incredibly, incredibly smart and play incredibly dumb.
Yeah, that's something I say all the time, but that's something that I try to bring to my comedy is that fine line between smart and stupid.
Yeah.
Because, and that was a big part of my, inspiration from Monty Python because they were extremely bright people. Their material was very smart. And at the same time, they could get really, really dumb. Yeah. And it sort of excused the dumb humor because you knew that it wasn't dumb comedy. They're bright guys. So,
their smart sketches earned them the right to do a dumb song, to make a rhyme out of A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is the single dumbest rhyme in the Monty Python canon.
No, but I have to ask, I was gonna Google this, but who is Cyril Connolly? Anybody know?
Oh my God. I looked it up last night.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Cause I don't know. I don't think it's in the, no.
Not Semi Connolly, but Cyril Connolly.
Cyril Connolly.
Cyril Connolly was a literary critic. For the magazine Horizon, and he wrote a book called Enemies of Promise, which was a combination of literary criticism and an exploration of why he failed as an author.
I should have known that.
I love the idea of writing a book about how you are not a successful author.
Yeah. See, not many people make Cyril Connolly references in their songs.
No.
Right.
That's how you can tell it's pure John Cleese.
Yeah.
Just that the level of intellectualism in it. Cause his two big ones are that and Oliver Cromwell. Which is just Oliver Cromwell's resume. Yeah. Which is bizarre. I mean, I listen to it. It's funny, but, it
doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah. Half a Bee is sillier for me, which is why I like it.
It's more random.
Much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But another one. All right. So let's go through some other ones. I think a lot
we're just shouting out honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
Right?
I think a lot of Life of Brian's not going to make it to the end. The penis song. Well, it's very funny. To me, it's a little bit Gilbert and Sullivan, style just because of the.
Do you mean Meaning of Life?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Meaning of Life, not Life of Brian. Yeah. He's
no. Was that supposed to sound like Noel Coward?
Yes, that's right. That was his Noel Coward piece. Yeah.
Right.
Where he's, it's just how
and it's called not Noel Coward.
Yeah. There's nothing like him playing that song and then a bunch of people just, yes, this is very good.
Very polite clapping.
So it was for people.
Very clever, very clever.
Let's see. What else do we have from Meaning of Life? We've got, it's Christmas in Heaven.
Christmas in Heaven, I feel like relied on a visual gag too much.
Yes. So did the accountancy shanty, even though it kind of works. If you don't have the giant, corporate takeovers happening in that. The Meaning of Life, which is the credit song. Well, it's a good song. I think, probably the song that's going to come out of that film is Every Sperm is Sacred.
Yeah. The Galaxy song is also absolutely
I gotta
brilliant.
say, I love the Galaxy song.
I would say those two may make it out to the finals for me.
I listened to it today and I can't remember it.
The Galaxy song?
I can't remember it at all.
It feels like, is that an Eric Idle song? Yeah. It feels like it.
Yes.
It is.
Yes,
It's Whenever Life Gets You Down, Mrs. Brown. When they're walking through the field of stars.
Okay.
But it doesn't really have a hook because it's just, about how the universe is rapidly expanding and how many million miles an hour we're moving. So it isn't very hooky unless you memorize all these facts.
Yeah, all these astronomical facts.
Have you seen the new version of this song?
Oh, no. Is it updated with the new scientific information?
So, close. It was debunked on video by a noted English scientist, at which point in the video, Stephen Hawking barrels over him in his wheelchair. And then Stephen Hawking, using his robo voice machine, sings the entirety of the song. And I believe it's the original lyrics. He says, quit being so pedantic. And then they made an entire music video that is Stephen Hawking in front of a blue screen. And they are moving the camera around to make him look around, a la Star Wars.
That sounds
just
great.
Flying around in a field of stars.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. The co-writer in the Galaxy song was John Dupre.
Nice.
So there you go. Paying off of UHF fame. Okay, let's see. I've got Two Legs, which is a Terry Gilliam piece where he talks about his legs and then gets both of them shot off on stage. It's cute, but it's not a finalist.
That wasn't in a movie, right? That was just a live
That
thing?
was live at the Hollywood
it was
Bowl.
just
Yeah.
a Hollywood Bowl bit that he did. And then the medical love song.
Oh, about the couple with VD?
Yes. It's like the grossest. I was listening to
What was it? What, snail tracks in my anus? Was that what it was?
Yeah, when your spirochetes met mine. I don't know what spirochetes are. I don't know what most of them are. At one point, my favorite line is, your dobies itch my scrum pox.
Are those medical terms?
Apparently
I think so. Graham Chapman, who was a doctor.
Right.
He went through all these and was like, yep, that's one. Right. That one too. Yes. These
Scrum pox?
Yeah. Dobies. What are dobies?
That is another one
That's a Harry Potter term, isn't it?
Exactly.
Sure.
You just put a sock on it, you set it free, and then it goes away. That's how you do it.
Exactly.
What else do I have here that is not going to make the finals?
I bet you won't play this song on the radio.
Yeah, it's clever. Certainly the non-censored version doesn't work because the whole thing is how many different.
Is there a non-censored version?
I don't know. I was listening to it and I was like, I think I've heard a non-censored version, but maybe there isn't because the whole point
That'd be the whole, taking away the whole point of it.
That would be kind of dumb.
Yeah.
This was just cursing. Enjoy. This version, I bet they will play it on the radio. Never mind. I should have stopped at the first one. Never should have put these in. What were you going to say, Mark?
But I was going to throw out another one that I don't know if it's an honorable mention or a finalist, but it's one of my favorite super weirdo songs of theirs is, Henry Kissinger.
Oh,
Henry Kissinger.
Yeah.
How I'm missing you.
What a perfect use of style.
Yeah.
Like in 1980 to do 1915 music.
Yeah.
And a song about being in love with, that sack of flour, Henry Kissinger.
I still can't get over the fact that Henry Kissinger outlived Prince.
Oh, gee.
Well, look at Henry Kissinger.
Oh,
Is
that's
that really
horrifying,
living
yeah.
what he's doing now?
Yeah.
He's turning into that mountain from the Pixar short. I love you. I'll tell you what, we're going to talk more Monty Python songs in just a second, but we want to take just a few minutes to tell you about this year's Max Fun Drive.
Oh, it's that time of year. Hal, are you excited?
I'm very excited. Are you excited?
I'm excited. Everybody. It's the Max Fun Drive. It only happens once a year. The Max Fun Drive is the point in the year when we ask all of our listeners to step it up a notch and join the team at Maximum Fun by becoming a monthly member.
Yes, this network is run by donations from listeners like you. And this is the time of year to become a member if you're not one already, or to upgrade your membership if you've already been supporting us for a while. Why? I'll tell you. We've got the best shows of the year all around. We're saving up the most primo content. And it's not like we've been dogging it before. So you're going to see an 11 out of 10 for the next couple weeks. We got great thank you gifts, which we're going to go through in our next break. And it's really just a celebration of all the things Maximum Fun. And the best time to sign on as a member, okay?
Absolutely. This is the time to do it. Don't wait. You listen to us now and you think, yeah, I'm going to donate later on because look, life happens. Something else is going to jump into your brain parts. But right now we're what's inside your brain parts. And we're telling you joining Maximum Fun as a sustaining monthly member is going to make you feel so good that you are doing something great for this podcast world that we hope has been bringing you joy. And I'd like to point out, first of all, to our new members who are joining this year, thank you. To our returning members who might be upgrading their plan from last year, double thank you. And to everyone who is just going to sustain their plan, thank you to you as well. I can't thank our listeners enough, Hal.
Yeah, me neither. Just so you understand, the donations that we've received over the last year from the 2016 Max Fun Drive have helped us get new equipment so we can sound better for you. They've helped us travel to different cities in the country to put on shows and meet more of the great Max Fun members all over the USA. So that's where the money goes. And all the different shows can benefit from your donations. And not only that, you're going to feel good every time you listen to a Max Fun show knowing that you've donated, you've helped make that happen. Plus, this year, we've set what I would call an aggressive goal, which is 10,000 new and upgrading members. It's not impossible, but it's tough. The only way we're going to get there is with your help becoming a member. So it's on your shoulders in a good way.
So bear that burden, ladies and gentlemen, because this network is called Maximum Fun. This is not minimum fun. This is not medium amounts of fun.
Correct.
And for us to have the maximum amount of fun on the Max Fun network, we're going to need the maximum number of people. And that is 10,000 new and upgrading members. Now, how do you go about donating? It's very simple. You go to MaximumFun.org and click on Donate. That's it. Select the membership level that's right for you. You'll provide a credit card, some other basic info. You've all done that part before for a million websites. But what you haven't done on a million other websites is click a little button that says you listen to We Got This with Mark and Hal. You will have that opportunity when you donate. That is, to make sure that, everybody at Maximum Fun knows what shows people are listening to and, that the support gets to, where you mean for it to get to. So go to MaximumFun.org, click donate, click We Got This, click, $1 million a month? That seems like a fair amount.
Yeah, you can do up to $1 million, or you know what? If you're not as comfortable, you can start at a $5 monthly donation.
$5 a month? That's so easy.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
That's half a cup of coffee at Starbucks. So instead of having that one overpriced coffee, maybe go to Dunkin' Donuts, because America runs on Dunkin', not a sponsor. And you can donate that money directly to the network and benefit all the shows you love. So it's whatever you're comfortable with. And we'll go over some of the great stuff that you get at different monthly donation levels, on our next break. But right now, you can go and get started. You can go to MaximumFun.org and click donate. You'll be able to see all those great gifts. So you don't have to wait for us to lay them out for you. You can go now and get them.
Don't look at another webpage while you're listening to our show. Hit pause on the show, then do it, then come back. I don't want you to have to multitask.
Yeah, we'll wait. See, that wasn't that hard. You paused and we were waiting for you as soon as you came back. And now it's done.
I went to Dunkin' Donuts and got that 1 cup of coffee a month that I have to get there now.
How did you like it?
It's fantastic. I'm going to go there every day.
Oh, fantastic.
Not a sponsor.
No, not a sponsor at all. The only sponsor that we have at We Got This, is made up of you, the people who listen and who were kind enough to donate money and specifically route some of it to us last time. And we know we have new users since then. This is the easiest thing in the world to do. So go do it right now. Benefit We Got This, benefit the Max Fun Network. And, we'll tell you more about those gifts at the next break. And we're back.
That was quick.
We'd like to keep it short around here, Al. We're not mincing words or pledge drives. What else do we have that's gonna sort of fall by the wayside?
I'd like to throw out another one and see what you guys think. All of the ones that I like, I think, are the ones that are these dumb, brilliant ones. And this one it's so pointless. The Brian song from Life of Brian.
Oh, yeah. Is that sort of like a Shirley Bassey kind of thing?
Yes, Brian.
Brian.
A babe named Brian. grew up to be a boy named Brian, grew up to be a teenager named Brian, had one off the wrist, which I had to look up.
What does that mean?
It's a British term for masturbation.
Okay.
And then became a man, not a girl named Brian. I don't even think they ever call him a man named Brian. They just repeat, not a girl named Brian at the end.
Now, it's not a parody of any specific kind of James Bond theme though, right? It's just kind of a pastiche.
Yeah, just a generally Bondy kind of thing.
Yeah, it gives it an epic feel. But again, it's funny, but I feel like without seeing those opening credits, because aren't there a lot of isn't there like the baby falling through the sky and stuff? Isn't there like a Terry Gilliam animation over it?
There should be, if not.
Yeah, if not, can we get that created? Terry, I know you're not busy at all, so please get on that. I think there's the Money song I don't think is a contender. It's
a fun song. It's a list song. It's two things that I do a lot in my music. It's a list song and it's an obsession song. Right. So it lists all the different kind of monies from all over the world, and it's also a song about a guy that's obsessed with money. So you put those together, and it's the Money song.
Yeah, I mean it's clever and it's good, but is it on the Mount Rushmore of Monty Python songs?
Probably not. If we're going for the top 3 or 4, I'm going to say no.
Okay, all right. How about the Bruce's Philosopher song? That's another one.
That's pretty good.
Got the intellectualism.
Right.
It's got great pacing.
It's a drinking song featuring all the philosophers.
Yes. John Stuart Mill's in there.
Immanuel Kant.
Yep. Heidegger.
Yeah.
Socrates, of course, was permanently pissed.
Yeah. Very clever song.
Yeah. Is that?
And also one that they used as a sing-along in their live show.
Right.
Really?
That it was, they
the words on the screen kind of thing?
Words on the screen with the bouncing ball.
Right.
They slowed it down because it's insanely fast and hard to do.
Maybe that was one I had memorized at one point just because it was so complex. Like, I've got to learn it. Sort of like We Didn't Start the Fire.
Right.
When you're a 13-year-old Jewish boy in the northeast of this country, you've got to learn all the words to We Didn't Start the Fire. And now I remember none of them except for Trouble in the Suez.
Yeah.
I know that had happened.
I knew all of Tom Lehrer's The Element song at one point, but
oh my God.
That's great.
Antimony, arsenic, aluminum, selenium, nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, rhenium, nickel, neodymium. About that much, and I'm done.
I feel like the heirs apparent to that sort of song was Animaniacs. You guys remember that show?
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Animaniacs did so many great tunes that were, here is a list of things that you have to memorize, so might as well use our version of it.
Did they have one that was all the U.S. presidents? Was that them?
They had a president's song, I believe. They had all the words in the English language, which is ridiculous. All the countries of the world listed in song.
Okay.
Of which I remember, one of them going down on one knee and shaking his hands Al Jolson's style to Gambia, Guinea, Algeria, Ghana.
That's racist.
Yeah, we can't have that. We got to get it out of here. Your daughter would not approve.
Oh, no.
This is not okay. Another one that's sort of a list song is the Decomposing Composers.
Oh, that's another good one.
Yeah, which is just all these composers are dead.
Yeah.
Does it talk about how they died or that they're falling apart?
I don't remember. Mostly like he was living, now he's not kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the end of it is just going back and forth with the year before their death, something they were doing. They weren't doing it the year after that.
I remember that one doesn't have like a really happy button. It just kind of ends on a really kind of sad, depressing note. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And it just goes like, and now a Moroccan moose lodge where Grimbley Fetterswap is going to be performing a selection from O Herald, All Ye Angels. And then it's just a 5-minute fart. So let's get into what about Finland? There are a couple songs here that are not they're most well known that I really like a lot. Finland is one of them, probably because I'm a huge Michael Palin fan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's like pure Michael Palin.
Right.
But it's really just about how close it is to other countries.
Yeah. It's okay. It's not densely packed with what you'd call facts.
Yeah.
Right.
No. It's like not so far from Russia.
Lots of miles from Vietnam.
Yeah. And then it ends with, for more information about Finland, please call the Wembleys of 9 Savile Row, where it's just an invitation to go to two people's home and look at their postcards of Finland. But that's probably not a finalist.
Let me ask you guys something. Are either of the songs from Holy Grail going to make it to the finals, do you think? Because in my opinion, they don't stand up to the rest of the songs. Holy Grail is the Holy Grail of comedy movies in many ways. But, I feel like the Knights of the Round Table song, while it's good, and it did lead to a word that became its own entire musical. And The Tale of Sir Robin, is a good showcase for Neil Innes, who did a lot of stuff with them and should be touted as the seventh Python. Do you think either of those is going to make it to the end? Thoughts?
I don't know. I mean, they're both really good songs. It depends how much are we narrowing this down?
Yeah, that is the question, is what is are we just sort of narrowing down contenders at this point?
I think at this point we can get to our top 3 and,
wow.
Jeez, I don't think Sir Robin.
Or top 5.
Because Sir Robin works in a sketch.
Right.
Because they talk about how brave he is before he meets, the three-headed knight.
Yeah, I like all the gory descriptors and all that.
Yeah.
I like that kind of dark humor, but I don't know if it's top 5.
Yeah, it's more than a sketch.
Knights of the Round Table's pretty iconic, though. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so great.
That's true.
They only had one day to shoot that. They shot it in one day.
Right.
Was it Castle Dune? Is that where they were?
Castle Dune. But you think that it's that one may come through? All right.
I would hold on to that.
Yeah,
one
that's
for
a hold.
now. It's pretty.
That's
great.
a soft hold.
Put a soft hold. We're gonna put a pin in it, a push pin, not a nail.
Plus, it's got a great solo of a guy playing a bunch of helmets.
Right.
Yes. And a great solo of a guy who likes to push the pram a lot, which, as we have all learned, is a baby carriage. Stroller in modern
Stroller,
parlance.
yes.
Whenever I don't know a British word from now on, I'm going to just assume it means stroller.
Yeah.
Just to give it a nice
probably
meaning.
right, yeah.
I did learn a term recently. Do you know what having a nosy is?
I don't think so.
Mark, do you know?
I'm gonna guess it's trolling someone's internet.
Good guess.
It's a good guess, and it's right. No, it means to have a look around.
Oh, having a nosy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
just having a nosy.
Yeah, let's have a nosy over there.
All right.
Might have been having a nosy.
I'm gonna have a nosy on your Facebook page. I'm sticking with it, guys. I'm sticking with it.
It still works. It still works. All right, so we're gonna keep that one. All right, here's the other lesser known one. I'll throw it out there now because I don't know if anybody else will take it, which is I'm So Worried.
You know, it's not a great song, but I have to say that every time the false ending comes back, it cracks me up. The false endings make that song.
I just played it for my wife yesterday who had not heard it before, and she was in tears at how hilarious. And it actually, if you listen to it, it still works today because the first thing he's worried about is the Middle East.
Yeah.
It's all stuff that hasn't.
It's timeless.
Yeah, it hasn't changed. He's worried about the same things. And then a friend of mine who travels to London a lot, I shared it with her for the first time, and she was laughing at that because she goes to Heathrow a lot.
The baggage at Heathrow.
They do have a problem with their baggage system. It's apparently a big issue.
I look at that song and I look at the other Terry Jones song on here, which is I Like Traffic Lights. And I feel like anytime Terry wrote a song and went into the room to the other guys was like, right, fellas, I know way we're really going to upset the audience now.
We want them to break the record in half.
Yeah.
And get to that third side that we liquefied inside. Yeah, so I guess it's not a finalist. I just love that song because it's some of the songs work within a sketch. To me, that song is a sketch.
Now, it has to be on purpose, but when they come back from the false ending and he's so out of time with, with the rest of the music, is that, I'm trying to figure out if that's good or bad because it's meant to be, the whole song's meant to be irritating.
Yeah.
And that certainly is.
I was listening this morning, I've just been sort of binging everything, just sort of hear it a bunch and get familiar with it again. And it makes me nervous to hear him so off on the time. So I'm like, did he record it separately? Did the musician? Oh, good. They got there. They finally made it.
Yeah.
But
he's got to know he's off.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way.
Somebody must have told him.
Yeah. Could he not hear where his headphone's not working? What?
It was the end of the reel-to-reel tape. They could not do another take.
That's it.
That's all we got.
Yeah.
We'd have to open up a new roll. Come on.
These are still sealed.
Have you guys heard the demo for that? That's more of like a country western.
No. Where'd you find this?
It's on it's on the re-release of the Contractual Obligation album.
Like a bonus track kind of thing?
Yeah, it's one of the bonus tracks, and it's got like a real like,
Interesting.
It's too upbeat.
Now, does is the John Denver song on that? Because they took that off of that album.
Oh, I think maybe they did put it back on as a bonus.
Really?
I feel like I've seen it on Spotify.
Did John Denver's estate say it was okay?
I guess so.
to do that.
They finally
John Denver parody.
I mean, it was a pretty grim song. They got rid of that song well before even John Denver's accident, right? This was just,
John didn't like it.
It was just a gruesome song from day one.
Yeah.
And like, how do you, I mean, you do if you're Monty Python, but he just looks like the world's nicest dude.
Yeah.
How are you going to pick on John Denver?
Yeah.
I mean, he did the thing with the Muppets, for God's sake.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you're like, oh, it'll be okay because everybody will know he's such a nice guy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But then you don't realize, oh, maybe he actually won't like it.
Right.
Maybe he won't.
It's a tribute. It's an homage. Come on, John.
You don't get it? We're erecting a statue to you out of music. You should be enjoying this.
Putting you on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Al, can I ask you a question? Jumping back over to what you do, have you ever had an artist go, please don't do that song?
It's very rare, but that has been the case a couple times, and mostly in the early part of my career because nobody knew who I was because I had no track record and they didn't know who this Weird Al character was what I was all about. Recently, in the last couple decades, not so much. Prince famously never let me do anything.
Yeah.
And there's been a small handful of people throughout the last 35 years that have said no, but more often than not, people actually, think it's a tribute.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's like an honor to have a Weird Al song. Was it Madonna who came up with the idea for, like, she was like, when's he going to do like a certain?
Yeah, she suggested it to her friend and the word got back to me and I thought, not a bad idea. Okay. Let's run with this.
Oh, it's fantastic. I can't not say that it's weird to be here recording with you, considering that I had all of your albums on cassette, like growing up.
Oh, thanks,
man. I was right in that wheelhouse of like, I've got to have every album and similar to knowing Monty Python, it was like you either knew Weird Al songs or you didn't like them.
Well, cassettes are coming back. They're the hipsters are into cassettes.
Are they really?
It's crazy, isn't it? I was at a shop, I think somewhere not, Echo Park or somewhere like that. And there was like a shop that sold nothing but like used cassettes. Like, oh yeah, the hipsters are really into the cassettes now. Like, why? I can see albums. I can see vinyl because of the, the audiophile quality, but cassettes are just horrible.
Yeah, like, they're not good. Are they charging, are they like, it's $20 for this En Vogue tape from 1990.
Right. You can erase it if you want to. You can pull it. You never know if it's going to get stuck in your tape drive. You never know.
Yeah, you can sell.
Yeah, you can push the fast forward button immediately on a CD and hear the song right away, or press the fast forward button and the play button at the same time on a cassette and still have a good 30 seconds to think about your life.
Right.
And then you sell David Reese's artisanal sharpened pencils to wind it back.
Yeah. Gives you time to reflect. It's important.
Yeah, exactly. I can't believe that technology's coming back.
I'm waiting for 8 tracks. That was, I loved how they would fade out in the middle of long songs because every track was only like 10 minutes long. So like, oh, nobody will notice if we just fade it all the way down, clunk, and we'll fade it back up. Track 2.
Yeah.
I went through a period like
he's going to sleep on it. Is he going to love her forever or not? I must know, Meatloaf.
I went through a period like 10 years ago where I was like, it would be cool to have an 8-track player and get some 8 tracks. And then pretty soon after I thought, why would I want to do that?
Yeah.
It's not like it's more like I want to have something cool, like the design, like the egg-shaped, 8-track players and stuff. It's not like it's a better sound. Like you said,
and yet I had an 8-track player in my car for all of my teenage and college years.
Well, because
then that was what it was.
Yeah, that was like the new thing. For us it was tapes and singles.
The last major release on 8-track, Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Really?
Yep.
No kidding.
Goodness.
So I just barely missed having an album on 8-track.
Yeah.
You know what? Your next album should be only 8-track.
Yeah.
But it's 16-track 8-track album. It's a double 8-track.
Yeah. You know what really sucked? Edison cylinders. Those were the worst.
This song is etched in wax, like real wax. None of this vinyl wax. Don't call your vinyl wax.
I'm going to put everything on 19th century music boxes.
Yeah.
It's just a copper tube with a bunch of bumps on it.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
No, I'm just handing out sheet music, Scott Joplin style to everyone.
I like the oral tradition. I just like to teach songs to my kids, and then hopefully they'll pass it down through the generations.
That's how music evolves.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Oh, all right. Well, before we get to the finalists, for the best Monty Python song, let's take another quick break to remind you about the Max Fun Drive and all the cool stuff you can get by becoming a donor to the Maximum Fun family.
Hal, you made a promise to our listeners on the last pledge break.
That's right. You know what I do with my promises, Mark?
You keep them.
I do keep them. So
you better tell us what these pledge gifts are. I've been dying to hear.
I will. I'm going to lay them out for you right now. Here we go. Let me start by saying if you don't have a ton of money, you just want to give a little bit to the network, that's okay. You can donate as little as $5 per month. And if you do
and get all the bonus content.
Exactly. You get our bonus episode, not only ours, but every single show on the network that is participating in this drive will have an episode ready for you to download. But now let's go to the $10 level. And I want to point out, not only is this for new members to Maximum Fun, but also if you're an upgrading member and you're at the $5 level and you go to 10, or you donate at any of the higher levels, you will get all of the amazing stuff underneath. So we're just going to go, we got the bonus content at $5. $10 per month, you get a drive exclusive enamel pin. And you're going to be able to select from one of 28 designs that represent the shows you love. Ours, my personal favorite, features a good old-fashioned slice of apple pie a la mode, which you may remember from our Best Pie episode featuring guest Colt Cabana, who oddly hated all pies.
Who may not have, in retrospect, been the best person for that episode, but it was a wonderful, wonderful episode.
That's right.
We got this pin. So why wouldn't you want to wear a little pin, with a slice of apple pie on it? People wear American flag pins all the time.
Yeah.
All of the leaders of the country wear their American flag pins. You know what's more American than the American flag? Apple pie. So
Correct. Walk
around wearing an apple pie. We got this pin and you'll be the most patriotic person in the world.
That's right. Now, at the $20 level, you get a Keep in Touch kit. What is that? I'm going to tell you. It's 9 custom note cards plus envelopes in 3 different encouraging designs designed by Brian Sunny D. Fernandez. You get a 4-color rocket pen, a Getting There rocket stamp, and a rocket-shaped candle. And why is that part of this kit? I'll tell you, because you put a wax stamp on the back of the envelope if you are from the 19th century or earlier. Or,
oh man, I have been looking for one of these. No kidding. I went to the store the other day looking for a wax stamp.
So there you go. And here's the best part is you can just light the candle and turn off all the lights, put a feather on the back of that 4-color pen. All of a sudden, Guess what you're doing? You're writing the Declaration of Independence by candlelight, just like the founding fathers did.
That's right. And you know what else the founding fathers did? They wore flag pins.
That's right.
We wear apple pie pins and we write our own declarations of independence.
Yes. Now, at the $35 per month level, you get all the stuff we talked about before. You get the bonus episode, the enamel pin and the Keep in Touch kit, but you also get a pair of rocket engraved beer mugs. These are high quality, very cool looking beer mugs. They're glass beer mugs, and they've got the Max Fund rocket.
Hal does not even drink, and he's excited about these mugs. Imagine how elated I am to find out that you can get a pair of beer mugs. I will come to your house and fill them with beer, and we will toast to you.
And I'll fill mine with ice water, and I'll drink it in the corner, because I know my place. So as we said, you can donate at a wide range of levels, whatever is comfortable for you. But you get different gifts at different levels, guys. So think about it. Not only how you want to support the show and the network, but which of those sweet swag options you want, because you can get a lot of stuff at the $35 level. So, guys, the drive is here. It's limited time. You're already thinking about making a donation, so go ahead and do it. There is no reason to wait. There will never be a better time for you to join the drive than right now.
Yeah, do it now while you're thinking about it. I can't tell you the number of times I've looked at an email and gone, oh yeah, I got to respond to that. I'll do it later. And then totally forgotten about it. This is not one of those times to do that. Do it right now. We'll wait. Ready, go. See? Wasn't that easy?
Now, let's get back to this episode of We Got This, already in progress. And we're back.
Whew!
I keep it quick.
Oh, man.
It's tight. Our breaks are tight. All right.
They are. I thought I was going to get a chance to go to the bathroom. I'm sitting here really having to pee, guys.
Told you to get Depends, Mark.
I'm just going to the bathroom right now.
Yep, he is.
Great.
This is really uncomfortable.
Al's already got the Depends. Oh, I'm in another state. I cannot help you, Hal.
Yeah, I don't want to look, but I can't stop. And neither can he. It's everywhere. All right. Let's go to, so how about Sit on My Face? Is
How
that
about
a
that?
finalist?
Finalist.
How about that? How about Sitting on Faces?
You know, I like that. So, yeah, it might be. I think that's maybe the best song about oral sex that Monty Python ever wrote.
For sure. It's
Yeah.
a top 5 at least.
Yeah, I remember I listened to that song a lot for instrumentation when I did Harvey the Wonder Hamster, because I wanted to have that kind of a marching
Really?
band.
I love that song.
Yeah, thanks. And I don't want people to like rush out to Wikipedia like, oh, that's a Monty Python parody. It's like, it's not. But you know, I like to listen to source material to try to like, you know, inspire me for you know how to arrange things in the studio.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it is great. And it works even with that. The funny visual, of course, when they do it live is they turn around and they're completely naked.
Right.
They're wearing full tuxedos in the front.
Well, that's the reveal. You don't know that till the song's over and they turn and walk away.
Exactly.
I've also seen them do it where are they dressed like waiters? in
Yes,
tuxedos?
Yes.
Okay.
And they turn
Yeah,
around.
because I don't think I've ever actually seen any sort of setup to it. All that I saw was this. I've heard the song for years before I actually saw any visual. And when I saw the visual, I was like, sure, they're waiters.
Yeah.
Cause why not?
When you're in Monty Python, I guess you have to be okay with your body. You want to be the one guy going like, come on, guys, we have to do that? Really?
Yeah.
Everybody else is doing it. Come on.
I feel like Terry Jones would be the guy driving that since
Yeah.
he was the naked organist.
The blackmail.
Oh God, that is a great sketch. So I think that's one that would probably, it's sort of an anthem of,
Yeah, let's put that on there.
so let's put that up there. That is a finalist. What about Spam?
Well, again, it's iconic.
Yeah.
It's more of for me, it's more of a sketch than a song. It's not really a song so much. Right?
I felt the same way. I look at it and it's like the sketch with the Vikings is hilarious, but hearing it just as a song, it feels almost too random.
Right. So I would say it's maybe even the most famous Monty Python song, although it's not so much really a song. I'd say it's one of their best sketches.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's one of their best songs.
For sure. Oh, I think,
I would agree with that.
I think the song that people know, even if they don't know Monty Python, is Always Look on the Bright Side of Life.
Yes, absolutely.
That's sort of, that's the one song that everybody knows. I'm trying to look on here for something else that is that famous. And I don't think.
Yeah, I'm doing the same scroll and
We're all doing it right now.
Yeah, we're all
looking at paper.
This is the great here. I'm going to add some sound effects.
ooh.
That's the sound of us rifling through our papers.
We talked about Every Sperm is Sacred. We got the Lumberjack. It was the Lumberjack song. Was that our soft hold?
Yes. So we have
Okay.
Lumberjack song.
Every Sperm is Sacred is going to be up there for me with Always Look on the Bright Side of
Okay.
Life.
Yeah.
So Always Look on the Bright Side of Life. We've got Every Sperm is Sacred. We've got the Lumberjack song. Are there any others that we were going to bring? Oh, Knights of the Round Table. I think we wanted to pull that through.
Maybe. Yeah. That's a maybe.
Yeah. Are there any album songs then that come through, or is it just, cause sometimes I always wrestle with the best versus my favorite whenever we do one of these episodes of the Ruby Wide Field. And in this case, I wonder if we're not putting, is there a song that's the best that's not the most famous? Or is it that their best song is their most famous?
Yeah.
And
I
that's why.
think the Philosopher's Song would be up there for me too. I mean, that's a really good song.
Great. So is that 5 finalists we have, Mark?
Right now the finalists I have listed are Sit on My Face, Knights of the Round Table, Always Look on the Bright Side of Life, Every Sperm is Sacred, Lumberjack Song, and Bruce's Philosopher's Song.
I think that's
So
a good half
6.
dozen.
There you
That's
go.
a good, yeah.
All right,
That's
so
the power half dozen.
Yes. Okay. So then, do we need to start? We need to start eliminating these, and we've already sort of discussed them and their merits.
I know.
Now, I didn't really talk about Always Look on the Bright Side of Life so
Yeah.
much. This is not detracting from it in any way, because it may wind up being the winner, because it's a great song, but it's great in that, because of the context, largely, I think, because if you weren't familiar with the scene in the movie, it's a fun song, and it's a bright song, and it gets a little dark, but what makes the song just great is the context.
Yes, the juxtaposition of a bunch of people on crucifixes who are being left to die, and
a lot of people on crucifixes.
Yeah.
Like as the camera keeps panning out, it's just there's a lot of people up on that hill.
It's at least a full men's choir's worth.
Yes.
Of people who are ready to
doing harmony, 4-part harmony.
Yeah, very well. Very well, too. We actually got to, Mark and I, a couple of years ago at Dragon Con, we did a stage show with Paul and Storm, and a bunch of other friends. And at the end, we did Always Look on the Bright Side of Life. And Terry Jones, who was attending the con, came out and sang it with us. And he was under the helmet that he wore in Holy Grail. And then he revealed himself. And we sang it with him. And that felt iconic. But still, that song,
Eric sang it at the Olympics.
Yeah, that's right. The closing.
Yeah, the closing of the Olympics.
Yeah. So, but again, you're right. It doesn't have the same punch.
It trails off. I mean, as a song, it's wonderfully catchy. But it's repetitive. It trails off. It doesn't have, it's got the catchy hook, but I don't know that it's got the musicality of some of these other songs.
No.
I don't, I'd hate to eliminate it because I really, it's a great one. It's
their single most iconic song.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, I'll do you a favor and I'll eliminate it for you.
What? Oh!
Goodbye.
Wow. Oh,
goodbye.
Hal.
I will say
my goodness.
How could you?
Ouch.
That whistle hook was Neil Innes.
That's right. Yeah.
And George Harrison, I think there was another verse in it that he had them get rid of because he was a producer on Life of Brian.
Oh, right.
And a huge Python fan, which is why in his tribute they did Lumberjack Song.
Neil, of course, also in Bonzo Dog Band and also in the Ruddles. So
yeah. That's right.
Amazing guy.
There is a Bonzo Dog Band song on here that
Urban Spaceman.
Yes, but
which is not really a Monty Python thing, but because Neil was there, he sang it. Was it the Hollywood Bowl? He sang it.
Yes, exactly. So that is exactly why. Now we've even mentioned it. So for those of you people love on the internet to tell us the things we missed, I feel like we got them all this time. So now we're down.
This was a text conversation that Hal and I have been having today of like, all right, are we missing anything? What's not on here? Do we want to do Urban Spaceman? No, we're not going to count Urban Spaceman. Not a Python song. What are we counting? Dennis Moore. We didn't mention Dennis Moore. Probably don't need to. More of a sketch.
Yeah, that's another one. The sketch. Great sketch. And it's really fun to hear the song go to like Dennis Moore.
It works great in context, but
yes. And John Cleese looks really funny in that wig and mask as a highwayman.
Lupins! Who want your Lupins?
Not too many Lupins! It killed the dog! And so at the end, of course, he steals from the poor to give to the rich.
I wonder if we could, because we've used this now for Always Look on the Bright Side of Life, I wonder if we can use your metric from earlier, Al, about it's got to be a funny song on its own.
Right.
The song, if you strip away everything else, in the case of parody, it's the original song. In the case of a sketch show, it's the sketch surrounding it. So if are we stripping all of that away to look just at the songs?
Well, should we? I mean, I think that's one way to look at it. We could certainly do that.
Or do we want to look at them because in context, Always Look on the Bright Side of Life is pretty perfect.
But that's already been eliminated.
Yeah, it's gone. Mark, why are you digging into the grave? What are you, some grave robber?
Sad. You're making me sad now.
Yeah.
You know what? Considering it was a bunch of crucifixions, I'm calling you guys back in 3 days, and we're putting that song back on the list.
I think it's good to have some context, but if the song being out of context removes the bulk of what makes it funny, then I think I think we want to leave it out.
All right. Well, that being said, I would like to then move to the front of the pack, at least for this leg, as we're, shooting the carnival, water balloons to make the horses go further along. I think the horse that's in the lead right now for me is Every Sperm is Sacred, because I think the context within the movie only serves to make an already hilarious song doubly hilarious with they have Chinese dragons at the end, for God's sake. This song is, and maybe it's just because I love Oliver and I love musicals. Yeah. It's so far over the top.
It's so over the top.
Absolutely joyous in its lunacy. And the little girl with no teeth, singing about spilling sperm and how the wicked way that is so effing funny.
It's pretty great. It's pretty great.
And those kids wind up in heaven at the end of Meaning of Life. Mm-hmm. They're all there. They've all died and gone to heaven.
Tidbit about that. When they were shooting it, Michael Palin said the word sock, knowing that, that they would fix it later. Because he was
Does
like,
your mouth
around
make
a
the
bunch
same
of kids.
shape, I guess? Just, close enough, I guess.
Sort of?
Close enough.
If it was a soft C. So that's the front runner. See, for me, I kind of come back to the Lumberjack song, which is real silly, works great in the sketch, but doesn't, as we pointed out, it doesn't need the sketch.
Right.
And it always starts with him saying, I never wanted this. I wanted to be a lumberjack. So it's got the lead in of him talking about the streams of British Columbia and the mighty pine and all of that stuff. And then he goes into the song. So it is a self-contained bit.
That's true.
It depends how much the unwoke Mounties bother you.
That's true. I think they look like fools. So it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's the Mounties that we are wagging our finger at here.
Yeah. I mean, there is the girl, the best girl who's by his side, who's like, Randall, and then runs off at the end. But she doesn't say he's terrible. She's just heartbroken.
He used to be so butch.
Yeah, that's right.
That is, going back to the lead-in for that is sort of, that song can come from absolutely anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
You just jump in wherever with Lumberjack song. All right. So what's the next one we're eliminating?
Who else? What's left?
Sit on My Face, Knights of the Round Table, and Philosopher's Song.
Oh man.
Okay. I'm gonna be really, I'm gonna say Knights of the Round Table. I think it's, iconic song. It's one of their most famous songs and it works great in the movie. I just don't know if it's the winner.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a good point. It is really funny, but it doesn't work. It has the setup it has to be within the film. It would just be sort of an odd piece outside of it.
By the way, well done, guys. We just eliminated their two most famous songs.
You know what?
Knights of the Round Table and Always Look on the Bright Side of Life. Look, I know this is not a popularity contest.
Look, you might as well
just said the villain on a reality show.
Just get us a bunch of cassettes because
we're here to tell people they're wrong about what they like.
Oh, so you've listened to the show. All right.
Mark, do you want to eliminate one?
Yes. I'm looking at this list right now and I really want to eliminate the Lumberjack song. Whoa. But it feels, every argument that has been made for it is a solid argument. It's tough. You know what? All right. Since we're going round robin eliminating them, I'm going to leave the Lumberjack song in for now and I'm going to eliminate Sit on My Face.
Okay.
An excellent song.
Well,
and
they're all cream at this point. It's all,
I know. Oh, I know. It's the hardest part. Yeah. Sit on My Face. I'm gonna stop talking.
Okay.
This is the part where all the people who listen to the show are going, what?
Yeah.
Just over and over again.
Unsubscribe.
Yeah. I can't take this anymore. Dear iTunes, I never write a letter like this. However, after the disappointment of that Lady Gaga show, so we have 3 left. Is that right?
We have Every Sperm is Sacred, the Lumberjack song, and the Philosopher's Song.
Okay. Oh man. I'm not going to eliminate the Lumberjack song. I'll tell you that right now. I like the Philosopher's Song. I like Every Sperm is Sacred. To me, I think the Philosopher's Song feels more Monty Python in that it's super silly, but also super smart at the same time and even if you don't see them with the corks on their hats, wearing their shorts and stuff, dressed up as the Bruces, I think it still works. So I'm going to eliminate Every Sperm is Sacred.
Oh!
I know.
Wow.
I know.
How?
It's a great song.
How?
Yes.
Oh. Think of the toothless children. Think of the children, all of the children.
Okay, now I just did the math. This cannot fall to me. I can't be the one. I cannot be the one
Al,
to pick the winner.
You know we did this on purpose this way.
Eeny, meeny, miny, you.
But as we tell every guest who we put through this, we did this to Nathan Fillion, and now we're doing it to you. We back you 100%. Whatever you choose, we are with you.
100%, Al.
And again, for everybody listening, we're not saying that we don't like any of the other songs. We're just trying to find the best. So when you have an argument with your friends, you know the answer. And they don't.
Okay. So are we down to Lumberjack song and Philosopher's Song?
Yes.
Okay. Here is my decision.
Okay.
I think the Philosopher's Song is much cleverer. Mm-hmm. I think the Lumberjack Song is funnier. I'm going to go with funny. Lumberjack Song it is.
There you go.
Wow. All right.
There you have it.
The asked and answered. The Lumberjack Song, officially the greatest Monty Python song of all time.
Except for 3 or 4 others, but
just a few others. Let me just say something. People of the world, we were set with an impossible task today. Jim Corbett, you held our feet to the fire, but we came through. And I just think I can't do this. I never wanted to be a podcaster. I wanted to be a lumberjack floating down the streams of British Columbia, the mighty pine, the other tree. The point is, the best Monty Python song in an entire canon filled with great songs. Listen to all of them. Get the albums. Watch the entire TV show over and over again. Watch the films. The best song they ever produced is about a barber who wants to be something more. Don't we all want to be our true selves? It's a song of identity. It's a hilarious song, and it features the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, who we're hoping get woke.
He's occupation fluid.
That's right. Your best Monty Python song of all time is the Lumberjack Song, asked and answered. Al, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys.
This was such a treat, man. Been a fan for a very long time, and what a great time to have you on the show.
Oh, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Now, we normally have, people go, tell us where people can find you. I can't imagine anybody can't find you, but anything you want to plug or tell people about, do it. This is coming out in March. It's late March right now.
Well, I'll be in my house for most of this year.
Great.
We're not touring, so there are very few places you could see me out and about. I'll be at the grocery store, probably buying groceries at some point.
Fantastic.
I should probably, since you're giving me the opportunity, I should probably plug the boxed set, which is coming out later this year. I think it actually drops in November, but the pre-order is only going through the end of February, unless it gets extended. But it's called Squeeze Box. It's all 14 of my studio albums plus an additional album of rarities, and it's all packaged in a replica of my accordion. It's this crazy thing. It's available for LP or cassette, not a cassette. That is a cylinder. No, it's LP and CD. But yeah, I'm very excited about it. We're doing the final touches on it now, and it's available online, WeirdAl.com, or wherever you buy your box sets.
Congratulations. 14 studio albums. Unbelievable. Mazel tov.
Cool. Thank you.
You know what? We believe, just
My
keep
pleasure.
doing it. You're going to break through someday.
One of these days.
Believe in you.
Mm-hmm. This is going to push me over the top.
Maybe you'll even win several Grammys. This topic has been closed, but there's so many others, and we want you to keep telling us the arguments in life that we need to settle for you. So hit us up on email at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com, or come to our Facebook group. That's facebook.com/groups/WeGotThisPodcast.
Or check out the Maximum Fun subreddit. A flame war is probably happening right now. Thanks, as always, to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song, respectively.
Thank you to producer Ken Plume, researcher Kate McManus, graphic designer Uri Kelman, and QA engineer Jen Alba.
And thanks to my wife for making breakfast this morning.
Thank you for that breakfast. It was beautiful.
Thank you for the breakfast.
I wasn't here, but I heard.
I was all the way out of the other side of the country. I didn't get any breakfast.
Oh, you didn't have breakfast?
No.
Probably don't have
You know what?
cassettes
I'm
either.
gonna go crying to our listeners. Listeners, thank you most of all. We would not do this show without you listening. And you would not give us great opportunities like this to talk with Weird Al about Monty Python. Bucket list. So, thank you very much. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin, and don't worry, everybody.
I'm a lumberjack, and I'm okay.
And so am I.
We got this.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture. Artist owned.
Listener supported.